Coming up today, we look ahead to the opening weekend in the Premier League. Christian Pulisic's documentary stirs up a storm, and hear about this season's best comeback so far. It's Sammy James here on Friday, August the 15th. Welcome to First Up Football. Strap in, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, because after 82 days away, the Premier League is back. The twists, the turns, the rises and the falls all await us between now and May. The 25-26 Premier League season is here, and let's be honest, it's been missed a little bit. Can anyone deny high-spending Liverpool a second consecutive title? Will Arsenal finally break the curse of second? Can a promoted team stay in the division? God, imagine. And will Spurs finally start winning league matches? All of these questions will be answered in due course. And it all begins on Friday with the defending champions Liverpool at Anfield taking on Bournemouth at 8 p.m. UK time. The Reds have spent big money this summer, but have several injuries and suspensions, meaning, as Arne Slot explained in his pre-match press conference, his team's going to look quite different to the one that ended last season.
So that means that if you exclude the goalkeeper from the 10 outfield positions, 5 were different than the main starters we had last season.
Yes, Ryan Gravenberch, Connor Bradley and Joe Gomez will all definitely be missing for Liverpool, and it will of course be an emotional occasion at Anfield as it's the first league match since the death of Diogo and Andre Silva's Jota. A moment of silence in memory of the brothers will be held at all Premier League matches this weekend, and Liverpool's players will sport a Forever 20 emblem on their shirts and jackets this season in memory of their former teammate. And now, over at Bournemouth, it's not like they have a full bill of health either. Andoni Iraola's team have endured a summer of change with big departures in defence, such as Dean Howson and Ilyas Zabani. Additionally, Unal, Cook, Christie, Sinistera and Kluivert are all either doubt or confirmed absentees. And maybe listen away for this bit, Bournemouth fans. The aggregate score for the last 6 league games at Anfield between these two teams is 23-2 to Liverpool. So I think the Cherries will be keen to improve that record slightly. Then on Saturday, 5 games in total. The early fixture at 12:30 is Aston Villa versus Newcastle. And funnily enough, these two teams have been doing business with each other this week.
Big breaking transfer news that Newcastle have agreed a fee with Aston Villa for Jacob Ramsey.
Villa's Jacob Ramsey is on his way to Newcastle. An agreement of £40 million has been made between the two clubs, and Ramsey travelled to the northeast for a medical on Thursday afternoon. Then at 3 p.m, Brighton take on Fulham at the Amex, and 2 of the newly promoted teams make their debut. Scott Parker's Burnley travel to his former team Spurs, and up in the northeast, this song will be sung extra loud at the Stadium of Light. Yes, Sunderland are back in the Premier League after 8 years away. They open their season at home against West Ham United, a team whose some are actually tipping for relegation after what's been another tumultuous summer at the London Stadium. At 5:30, Wolves host Manchester City at Molineux. Can Pep's team return to the top of the table? Or will injuries to big stars such as Rodri, Foden, Gvardiol and Kovacic continue to hold them back? Then on Sunday, there's a further 3 games at 2 p.m, a London derby between 2 teams that have 4 trophies between them in the last few months. Chelsea play Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge. Also at 2 p.m, Nottingham Forest host Brentford. Johan Wieser will miss the match for the visitors as he continues to push for a move to Newcastle. Then at 4:30, we see the first glimpse of the team that many are predicting to win the league.
And this will be a bit of a shock to people. I think Arsenal are going to do it.
So this season, I predict Arsenal will win the league.
I've gone Liverpool second and Arsenal first.
Ooh, Arsenal fans are going to love that.
Yeah.
Arsenal are hotly tipped to finally get that Premier League title that they've craved for over 20 years. Their first obstacle is Manchester United at the Emirates, who have made some big signings this summer, particularly in attacking positions, with Cunha, Mbeumo and Šeško all joining for big money. And what else can we expect that's new in the Premier League this season? Well, first of all, there's a new law. Goalkeepers holding the ball for more than 8 seconds actions will be punished with a corner for the opposition. This is in order to try and prevent some time wasting. Also, the league is going to be testing out referee cameras. I think this is quite cool in selected matches this season, and those referees have been instructed to crack down on set piece holding, simulation, and exaggerating contact. Now, all the kickoff times and channels in both the UK and the US are in the description of this podcast. Let's dive into some other stories. We'll start with Nottingham Forest, who had a trio of exciting transfer announcements on Thursday. Firstly, their move for Manchester City's James McAtee got the green light as the two clubs struck what David Ornstein called total agreement. Not a phrase I've actually heard before, but quite enjoyable. I might start using my day-to-day life. I had total agreement with my wife last night. Actually, no, that never happens. Anyway, on Thursday, Ornstein also broke the news that Forest are in the process of agreeing a £37.5 million fee with Ipswich Town for their English winger Mari Hutchinson. And then Fabrizio Romano tweeted that the Tricky Trees are on the verge of signing French striker Arnaud Calimuendo from Rennes. What a night for the Forest fan. It's kept coming. Down in the Championship, and Wrexham have spent £10 million on signing Welsh striker Nathan Broadhead from Ipswich. Nathan was born just an hour away from Wrexham in the town of Bangor, and speaking to the club's official channel, he made clear what his aim is.
For me, it's promotion and getting North Wales into the Premier League, and that's massive for me.
Next, and a big debate was sparked amongst US men's national team fans after a new episode of Paramount Plus's documentary Pulisic dropped on Wednesday. In the episode, the team's captain Christian explained why he dropped out of the Gold Cup this summer.
It is a lot. It's hard to keep up with playing every single game. I mean, you see a ton of injuries, but this is what it is. This is, how the business works. People want to see us play, and I think it's just a decision that I had to come to do the best thing for myself and look out for myself for once. But I think everyone has, had their opinion on me and just, really, I mean, in my opinion, just disrespected me in a lot of ways and just completely forgotten about what I've done for this national team for 10 years. It sucks.
Yeah, this has not gone down particularly well amongst USMNT fans, with many questioning whether Pulisic still deserves the honour of captaining the side going into a home World Cup next year. In the documentary, Christian Pulisic, his dad Mark, and also Tim Weah criticised former players who criticised the current team. And in response to that, here's the opinion of former USMNT goalkeeper Tony Meola on CBS Galazzo.
For so long, so many years, about nobody cares. No one watches the national team. And now you have a wild hair up your ass because somebody tells you that you sucked in the game? Like, do you think none of us went through any of that?
Safe to say, this is probably a debate that will continue all the way until next summer. Also on Thursday, Chelsea announced that they will use their prize money from the Club World Cup to make a generous donation to the family of Diogo Jota. The Athletic reports that the decision was made between the club and the players to donate some of their prize money to Jota's family, with several members of the Chelsea squad, particularly Pedro Neto, heavily affected by the death of the Jota brothers whilst the team was playing in the USA for the FIFA competition. Also this weekend, more leagues in Europe get underway. Spain's La Liga starts on Friday with Girona versus Rayo Vallecano at 6 p.m. Barcelona's season begins on Saturday evening away in Mallorca, and Atletico Madrid's first match is on Sunday night away at Espanyol. Real Madrid incidentally start their season on Tuesday. Bit random. French Liga also begins this weekend. Marseille play away at Rennes in the opening game on Friday night, whilst reigning champions PSG play their first game away at Nantes on Sunday. Also beginning this weekend, it's the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, and Portugal's Primeira Liga also gets underway. And in the Championship, there's a big game on Sunday as two of the teams relegated from the Premier League, Ipswich Town and Southampton, play at midday, whilst Wrexham play their first home game in the second tier since 1982. They host West Brom at the Stoke Kairas. Last up, there was a little bit more fun than we expected tonight in the Europa Conference League third round qualifying. Firstly, up in Scotland, we might have had a contender for the Puskás Award.
Bowie tries a Ben Prada!
It is a staggering goal from Hibs' Kieran Bowie, a dipping volley from over 40 yards straight into the top corner as the side from Edinburgh beat Partizan Belgrade. Then we have to tell you about an absolutely crazy comeback that took place in the Conference League between Danish side Brøndby and Icelandic outfit Vikingur Reykjavik. So part one of this story took place last week when Vikingur Reykjavik won 3-0 in Iceland in the first leg. An uphill battle for Brøndby for sure back in Denmark last night. But then uphill turned into borderline impossible when Brøndby's Clement Bischoff was sent off in the match after 18 minutes. However, Brøndby produced one of the great remontadas. They scored just before half-time and then added 3 more in the second half to complete a 4-0 turnaround. Cue wild celebrations after the game. Nothing like doing things the hard way, hey? And also, a little lesson for me. Always pay attention to the Europa League third qualifying round. That is it for First Up Football today. Thanks to everyone who has got involved with the show during our debut week. There is a long way to go, but thank you for being here from the start. We truly appreciate you. If you're enjoying it, please do share the word with anyone you know who loves football. For now, this show is a little bit of a secret, but we need to find more listeners to make it financially viable. And if you want to support the work we're doing, you can get advert-free episodes and our weekly write-up newsletters by heading over to our Substack, firstupfootball.com. We will be back on Monday looking back at the opening weekend of the Premier League season. Have a wonderful weekend.